Well, it's a fun morning. We had giant shacks, we had business plan winners, and my friend Chuy.
All right.
I have not seen you at the dog park. I'm assuming because we see each other at the dog park every now and
That's
then.
right.
Downtown. And we always talk about the great events going on at the city.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
assuming you haven't been at the dog park because you have been so hard at work.
Well, you know, actually, dog parks are a very good place to meet people.
They are.
It's just like going to the golf courses. You know, you talk about everything, and you have a chance to catch up.
That's right.
And yes, you know, I'm always talking about Old Town.
Right, you are, because we got the 311th birthday of the city coming up, and you got a big celebration for that. Was it this weekend?
Well, no, this past weekend we had the Cesar Chavez, which is, you know, part of our work is a lot of outreach.
Right.
And so we work with many organizations throughout the city.
Right.
But the primary job, you know, it's in Old Town.
Right.
Old Town.
Are you going to have the concert series again this year?
That's for sure.
Right.
So we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
so what are you really excited about? What's the next big thing coming up in Old Town?
Well, you know, we're going to kick off the season with the Elvis celebration.
Oh, really?
We started celebrating Elvis. According to, you know, the historical documents there in Old Town, Elvis stayed there in Old Town at the Bugger's house.
Right.
Not house, the mansion.
Right.
That's what they call it.
Which is now the bed and breakfast.
Yeah, the Bugger's. It's a bed and breakfast. He stayed there in 1956, right before he went to do his last concert here, and before he hit the big times.
Right.
You know, 'cause, so then the Steve and Kathy
who owned the mansion,
Hyatt, who owned the mansion, decided to celebrate his life. You know, and so it was nice, and then we started bringing in. It's a lot of interest. There's lots of people that love Elvis, and they still. I mean, he still has a lot of fans. So throughout the day we have karaoke, and this year we have a special guest, Adam Casals, who is a. I don't know if you're.
He's an Elvis impersonator?
He's an Elvis impersonator.
Excellent.
So I don't know if you remember this young man who was stabbed, actually, in one of the churches by some...
I don't remember, but...
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago. Well, he's back. His movements are fine, and he's singing just as great. And so he's going to be our special guest.
Oh, that'll be great.
Along with, you know, dozen or more.
That's great. When is the show?
Well, the show's it's Friday, April 10th.
Okay.
From we'll start from 5 to 8 or 9 o'clock. You know, depending on the attendance. Aside from that, we have a car show. We have lots of food. I mean,
I'm in.
Great celebration.
I love it.
And then they'll be followed by fiestas.
Right.
Fiestas, as you know, we're celebrating our, you know, historical fiestas, which are those are
anniversary. It's the 311th birthday of Albuquerque.
That's correct. That's correct. And that'll be April 18th.
That'll be great.
April 18th.
And there's a bunch of stuff for kids, and we have photos of some of this too that we can talk about.
Well, yeah.
Here's some of the folks here. These are some of the dancers that'll be in Old Town for the party.
That's right. That's right. Ballet Folklóricos. We got flamenco. We got Native American. You know, we always start with blessings from the Native American people, and then we follow. It's like following the eras.
Right.
You know, the Native American, the Spanish. Statehood, contemporary, the Mexican era, and you name it. It's just a beautiful celebration of all cultures.
That's cool. Did you go on the march on Sunday?
Yeah.
It was packed.
It was packed. Yeah, we had a lot of people. Yeah, it is. You know, it's a wonderful. We live in such a beautiful city that if everybody, that's what programs like this are so important,
right?
Because they let people know what's going on around the city, and it's such a diverse community that we celebrate everything.
There's everything to talk about. Yeah, we've even got the Italian Film Festival folks who can teach us how to play bocce ball a little bit. But I love this because the Cesar Chavez March was this last weekend.
Last week.
Urban myth has it that you knew or at least met Mr. Chavez.
I did.
And you worked with him in the 60s.
I worked with I was too young in the 60s. you know, at 70s more than 60s, but I did little work on behalf of the United Farm Workers Union.
Yeah.
And other organizations, you know, but it's part of our journey in this life.
Right.
You know?
Well, what was he like? I'm too young to have been able to see him speak. I'm too young to be able to see him. You know.
Well, he was a pretty mellow person. You know, a lot of people think that he was this giant man.
That's
how
a lot of you see him always. The pictures of him up on the farm truck, and you see him as this giant figure. You know.
Well, yeah, and he was actually about our size. He wasn't
so
a
very
big
short
man.
guy.
He wasn't a great orator. You know, he was. I think his strategy was more. He listened to people. He listened, and then he gave what people wanted. Mm-hmm. You know, so it was his talent and his virtue was the nonviolent movement.
Right.
And it was one of the things that people embraced.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, being a Catholic and being, you know, nonviolent and all this. A lot of people, you know, around that time, you know, they accused him of being a communist, and he said, "Communist? No, I'm a Catholic." so it was wonderful to have experienced that kind of life, you know. But you know, I was just part of the fundraising.
Part of the movement.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, this weekend, lots of fun stuff in Old Town.
Well, like I said, starting on the 10th, we have the Elvis, and then Saturday, April 18th, is the Fiestas. Mm-hmm. Then on the 24th, we honor all nations, all tribes. It's a Native American performance. That's from 2 to 9 p.m.
Excellent. And you can find all of this at cabq.gov.
That's right.
/Old Town.
Right.
Or cultureabq.com. Find it all there. There's a whole lot of stuff to do. There's no excuses to not be out in Old Town this summer. We'll be back in a couple of seconds. We're going to learn to play bocce ball on the Morning Brew with Friends.
Oh, my. Right on.